Hello everybody, my name is James Elliott and I run Elliott Antique Clocks Limited, and I also run the eBay shop, the Horology Centre. And today I've got this stunning giant carriage clock in front of me by Drocourt. An absolutely wonderful thing. It's so large, it really is. Let's appreciate immediately how big it is, because it's always difficult to judge these things on camera. There we go. I'll stick this Leroy carriage clock in front of it, and you can see how it's dwarfed by it. Even if I put the handle down, there you go. So let's get the tape measure out and see exactly what we're dealing with. So it's a clock of exhibition quality. They only really made these clocks for exhibition because they weren't really practical to be carrying around, because they were so heavy. It would take one man to carry this clock around all day, and then at the end of the day he'd be useless. It really is that heavy. So it was really just to show off and really magnify the quality of the craftsman. So in a big exhibition, if you had a small clock like the Leroy we were just looking at, it would be swamped in comparison. You wouldn't really be able to appreciate in such a large space. So they made these clocks, these extra large clocks, and that's why. But they are much rarer than the smaller size, because you know, they're just really not practical as travel clocks are concerned. It's just a bit over 19 centimeters tall. That's without the handle, and with the handle, it's practically 25 centimeters tall. So a full-size giant clock. This is as large as they come. We're set on Grande Sonnerie at the moment. And how good do those gongs sound? They're still resonating. Still resonating. And now it's finished. And that's the that illustrates the quality of the gong. How long you get that lovely progressive noise. Now, some of you would have seen the movement video that I did of this clock, explaining, you know, how Grande Sonnerie works. What I didn't explain at the time was that you shouldn't take that movement just as gospel, because 99% of the time there's what is called a fake blow between the hours and the quarters. This movement is designed in another way. So you should, on most cases, the hours would finish, and then on the last tooth of the hour rack there would be a fake blow. The quarter rack would still be dropped in its position, and then it will strike the quarters. So, you know, I don't want anybody looking at that video and thinking that's how all Grande Sonnerie should be set up, because it really is not the case. Let's come up to quarter two. We have a superb gilt dial mask, which is and then framed within a dial mask frame, signed by the retailer at the bottom there. These fantastically fashioned ladies that adorn each corner, which we'll have a closer look at. You see every angle you care to look at this clock. It's it just gets better and better. You can see the quality of the clock really shining through by the detail of these ladies. Absolutely superb. So normally on a clock that perhaps wasn't as finished as well, there wouldn't have been much sort of hand finishing involved. So the figures don't have that definition like they do on this clock, because they're just cast and then they're sort of roughly hand finished, and then the casting would have been the quick part on here. Whereas on sort of more of a standard clock where they weren't looking for such a high finish, the casting probably would have taken the longest process. But finishing them to this detail, this sort of specification, I wouldn't know how long it took, but it wouldn't be a day's work, let's put it that way. So there's not much to say on the movement, which I haven't already said in the other video, so I'm trying not to sort of repeat myself. It's always difficult when you do a video on the same subject, remembering what you the points you made in the last video and the points that you shouldn't be making in this video. So let's go up and have a look at this clock from some different angles. Absolutely superb. Really lovely balance to the case. I've not seen this style of case before. Let me see this giant size escapement working away with its original silvering. But I think I covered most of that in the other video. So there we are, a really rare opportunity to purchase an exhibition quality carriage clock, and you do not see many, you really don't. And it's so difficult to appreciate the absolute sheer size of this clock. I know I've mentioned this before, but even from my experience, when I've bought a Giant, they always take your breath away when you see them for the first time. Nothing really does prepare you for that sort of, those awesome proportions, especially if you've been collecting clocks, and you could be collecting clocks for 10 years and not seeing the Giant carriage clock. Obviously if you're a dealer, you're seeing a lot more, but not a lot more. It really is as simple as that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you've got any queries, any questions. Be sure to check out the video of the movement of this clock. Goes really into the depths of how these Grande sonneries work. And thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.